Bees are extremely important, both for nature and for people. As Albert Einstein warned, if bees become extinct, the human population would also die out within 4 years. Bees at present suffer greatly, and a number of scientists predict a less than rosy future. Bees are afflicted by pesticides, American foul brood, colony collapse disorder, and first and foremost, diseases spread by a parasite mite known as Varroa destructor. Varroa has moved from Southeast Asia to practically the entire world and currently poses the greatest threat. And the situation is actually growing dramatically worse. Without human intervention, the honeybee will not be able to survive in the outdoors any longer. Beekeepers have been fighting against Varroa. They have been practically helpless, however. They use chemicals, pesticides, and acids to try to suppress the mite. These are not efficient enough and cannot exterminate the mite. Furthermore, all the chemicals weaken the bees, and the Varroa mite is actually growing in resistance. The drugs remain inside the beehives, and hive structures reside in the bee wax, and may even find their way into the honey we all consume. This is why we have developed a radically innovative beehive which makes getting rid of the mite possible without any chemicals whatsoever. After 10 years of research and testing in cooperation with Pulaski University, we finally managed to develop a thermosolar beehive which can kill the Varroa destructor with 100% efficiency, completely without the use of drugs. The bee colonies living inside the thermosolar hive are healthier and stronger, and consequently produce considerably more honey. Thermotherapy has been known for a long time already, but has only been utilized rarely and with difficulties. And it has never been applied in such a progressive way. There is no need for any pesticides, no drugs to treat the bees. The honey from our beehives is clean and pure. The solution is revolutionary, as it solves several problems at the same time. The thermosolar hive cures with only sunshine. It exploits the fact that compared with bees, the Varroa mites are extremely sensitive to increased temperatures. It works as follows. The beekeeper simply removes the outer cover of the hive, waits until the sun warms the air in the upper section of the hive, and places the outer cover back on. Thanks to the unique technical solution, the temperatures within the hive even out and are maintained over the healing limit for more than 2 hours. The bees, the bee brood, and the combs tolerate such increased temperatures without any problems. The majority of the Varroa mite are killed. Only those mites attached at that moment to the bees outside the hive survive. The remaining mites leave the old bees on the larvae over the following 10 days. It is therefore sufficient to repeat the treatment once again, and the Varroa is exterminated completely. Varroa treatment is not the only benefit of the thermosolar hive. Thanks to utilization of the solar energy, the hive saves the honey reserves, helps the bees survive winter easily, the bee colonies develop much faster in the spring, and increase the honey yield. The technology is proved scientifically and practically as well. The beekeepers found it to be successful. Thermosolar hives save beekeepers time, make beekeeping easier without chemicals, and enhance the yield of healthier honey. We want the thermosolar hive to reach beekeepers from all over the world so it can help save bees and increase the quality of honey. We all want honey without chemicals, and we can help beekeepers produce such honey.
We want healthy honey from healthy bees. Please support us.
Bee pollination is essential for a third of the food we eat, but we lost 42% of bee colonies last year. There's a movement of backyard and urban beekeepers who want to make a difference and save the bees. We created a technology to help them. Here's how it works. We attached a camera to a small but powerful computer that lets us visually monitor what goes on at a beehive all day, every day. We developed an algorithm to track bee flight activity and translate hours of video to an easy visual real-time summary. We found that healthy colonies had a unique heartbeat activity pattern, and we could measure that heartbeat over time.
not just flight activity, but the signature of the flight activity gives you a really interesting window into what's going on in that colony in real time.
It's moving our understanding of nature forward, using high tech for very low-tech and natural situations, which is very cool.
It also lets you share the joy and importance of bees remotely with others.
What are those?
Bees.
EyesOnHives watches your bees for you all day, every day, and helps you see when something is wrong, so you can do something about it in time.
It's a revolutionary tool because we've never had a tool like it before.
It means that basically the bees are going to live here.
We're excited about what's possible when EyesOnHives measures bee health on a big scale. Please pledge to help us support beekeepers and the bees. Thank you.
Hi everybody, welcome to Walnut Bank. This is the global headquarters for the Broodminder Company. I'm Laura Davis, I'm the queen bee, and I'm married to Rich Morris, who led the team that developed the Broodminder. I am going to show you how to install the TH, the temperature humidity device, after I show you how to install the Broodminder W, which is the scale, beehive scale. Now I'm not a beekeeper, I grow the flowers that the bees love so much, which is why I'm going to show you how to do this, to show you how easy it really is. So I'll do this one after. Once you take it out of the mailing package, you'll have this device ready to go, and you'll notice that it has a sleeve here that is holding the top and bottom together. You'll also notice that there's a number on the end, on the right side, as it faces you, that is a unique identifier for the scale and also for the hive that it's under, that will allow you to follow that particular hive on your phone. So in order to install it, just remove the sleeve, and you'll see that the bottom basically comes right out. The bottom aluminum piece is just for to support the hive and the scale and to protect it from the elements. You can set that aside. So you'll notice that there is a plastic layer that protects the sensors on either end, and in the middle is the circuit board that will monitor your data to your cell phone. And in order to get it started, the battery is ready to press right into the little socket, and it'll click into place, and then you'll see a few flashes, and that lets you know that the device is zeroing itself and getting ready to send the data to your phone. Once you've done that, you can replace the bottom very simply, and then you can replace the sleeve, and you're ready to install it. So it's a really great way to do it is to put a 2x4 in the front of this hive and in the back of the hive. That will keep it level, and it will also allow you to move the scale if you want to, from the front to the back or from hive to hive. In order to install it, you can use your bee tool if you like. We use this crowbar because it just gives us a little more stability. So you just lift the hive, just slide it right into place. Here you are. You're ready to start getting your weight on your phone. So grab your cell phone and go to your app store and find Broodminder, and once you've clicked on that, it will come up and it will automatically connect to your scale. They'll be communicating, and at this point, if you can follow your scale by the number that's on the device, or you can change it, give it a name, or even take a picture of it, where you can, if you have several hives, you can identify them by their pictures. So once you've got that done, then you just press on that picture or number, and what will pop up is a graph of the weight of your hive that's sent by your device to your phone every hour. For more information, go to broodminder.com. That will tell you different ways to enhance the accuracy of your scale, or different ways to use them, and any other questions that you might have about the Broodminder products. So now I'm going to show you how to install the temperature and humidity device. It also has a green circuit board that's at the end that will go inside the hive, and this part will stick out. So in order to activate the battery, in this case it's already in place, but it has a tab that's keeping it from running. So all you need to do is pull out the tab, and that will activate the battery. So now your temperature humidity device is ready to start communicating with your phone as well. The tab itself can be peeled and stuck to the end of the device, or you could just write the name of the device or however you would want to identify your hive. It's very simple to install. Just lift up the hive, the top of the hive, and place the device so that this tab is sticking out, and then set the top right back down. And you notice that you can see the name of the hive right there. And it'll start communicating in your phone the same way through the Broodminder app, and it will allow you to show simple graphs of your hour-by-hour temperature and humidity. So I want to say a little bit to you about our partnership between Broodminder and Beekeeping.io, because the data you'll have on your phone will be very useful to you about your own hives, but we believe there's power in numbers, so we've partnered with Beekeeping.io. So with a press of the button on your Broodminder app, your data can be uploaded to the cloud, where it'll be available for analysis and used by you and by all the other thousands of beekeepers whom we hope will participate in our effort to learn more about beekeeping and how to sustain bees. Because at Broodminder we believe every hive counts. So go to broodminder.com or beekeeping.io.
Albert Einstein said in 1954, "As go our pollinators, so goes humanity." Bees, or our pollinators, are the only insect that work on behalf of humanity, and without which humanity cannot exist. The USDA reported 3 years ago that colony bees were down to 91.7% gone from 50 years ago in numbers. 2 years ago, we lost 31% of those existing bees that were still left. Last year, 2014 till this year, 2015, we lost 41% of the existing bees that were still left. So now our colony bees are somewhere around 98% expired. We've been using European honeybees since about 7000 BC, but with the colony collapse disorder going on and all our bees disappearing, it's obvious that we have to make the move to our native bees, which are immune to the virus because they're solitary creatures. The problem with our native bees is they're no longer around in place because we displaced them as a settling race when we came to North America. We weren't aware of the fact that native bees use standing dead timber to propagate in. And when we were cutting down all these trees, we were displacing our bees. We can propagate native bees at a much greater rate than they'll expire naturally if we choose to take up this cause and try to make a difference. Hello, my name is Chester Lee. I'm here on Kickstart asking for your help to start a program to go across America planting bee poles. We heard bees are disappearing and it's everyone's job to try to save them. I do have a patent on this device and have been working with this program for some 9 years. When you put a bee pole out, we can then choose, do we want worker bees, do we want queens? Bees born out of a bee pole, if the hole is a ½ an inch deep, you get a worker bee. And we know by having worker bees on our farmlands, we can increase productivity by 15 to 30% without using chemicals like fertilizers or pesticides. My plan is to take the bee poles to their shelter, go along the waterways, starting here at the headwaters of French Creek down the Mississippi to the Gulf of Mexico. The ultimate goal of this program is establishing a pollinator migratory route. We can not only move the bees from the areas of the country where they do exist to areas where they're in the most need, but we can set up territories where the bees then on their own will move back and forth. Currently I have about 2,700 Boy Scouts in 22 council districts in 9 states as the manpower who will be initially helping me to plant these bee poles. The only way I can do this is with your help. You can help us by sponsoring the planting of a bee pole, buying a bee pole to plant yourself. To promote the project, you can tell your friends about it, get them involved. What we're asking you to do is to actually be a superhero, help save the planet. And we're asking for your participation. Please get involved some way, somehow, at least tell a friend.
As an inventor, you have these hopes and dreams. And the only thing that really keeps you going is being optimistic that yes, we can make this idea work. And to finally see it work after a decade of tinkering away in the shed with my dad was extraordinary.
The first drops and it's pouring.
It's pouring in! Our next big challenge was to take our invention to the world, and crowdfunding allowed us to do that in a way we never dreamt was possible. Suddenly, our small campaign had turned into a community of passionate beekeepers all around the world, now numbering over 35,000 and growing.
It's amazing to see their enthusiasm for beekeeping and their willingness to learn and to share knowledge.
One small act, right, of saying, I think I'm going to try bees, that it opens up not just this world of bees, but it's sort of a window into being more connected to nature in a much larger way.
I thought it was an awesome invention. I'd seen how typical beekeeping takes place, how harvesting honey happens, and I thought I didn't want to do it that way. I'd rather try something different.
One of the coolest things I've ever done in my life was pull out the first frame, crawling with bees.
Honey harvesting is such a pain, and it's a tremendous amount of work, and it makes a huge mess. It's very disruptive to the bees. It's a kind of a disaster. No matter what you do, no matter how hard you plan, you just end up with, honey everywhere. So to actually just have it pour out of the side of the hive into a jar and skip all of that mess is amazing.
When we got the first flow hive going, it was obvious that it was such a peaceful and entertaining experience. So every time we get honey, we make sure all our friends come over and experience it because it's really special.
But what a beautiful treat to have, especially if you can know where it's coming from your backyard. It's the least processed food that I know as far as sweetness go, and it tastes bloody good.
It's been a really busy year fulfilling all the orders.
And it's such a good feeling to see all the photos and videos flowing in from all corners of the globe. As beekeepers experience the joy of harvesting pure, unprocessed honey directly from the hive.
Our bees are very, very happy with the flow hive. They're filling up the frames with honey as fast as we can harvest it. Lovingly shared by happy bees.
And urban honey has this variety to it and depth that you continue to taste. I love it, love it.
Harvesting a frame of honey and just being able to smell it like a glass of wine, and actually the floral notes are there. I mean, if you smell a bottle of honey that's been extracted, it's not the same. And I think that's an amazing thing that is hard to believe until you experience it.
We've seen the videos on the website, but there's nothing that compares to your first experience actually seeing it flow out of the hive. It was just absolutely amazing.
None of this could have happened without the Indiegogo community, who jumped on board to support us and shared our campaign far and wide.
We did that as soon as we could, within seconds of it going online.
Been wanting to do bees for decades and decades and decades.
So to say thank you to the Indiegogo community for making all this possible, our most popular Flow Hive Classic will be back on Indiegogo at original campaign prices for the next 2 weeks.
So the best bit is, you don't have to wait. We've got hives in stock all across North America, Europe and Australia, ready to deliver to your door.
If you're new to beekeeping, be sure to check out our educational resources and forum at honeyflow.com and connect with your local beekeeping group to learn all the fascinating things about caring for bees. We're also excited to announce a special range of organic cotton t-shirts. And for these next 2 weeks, 100% of all profits from this range will be donated directly to the Rainforest Trust to help preserve forest ecosystems around the world. Our forests are really important habitat for thousands of species of pollinators.
Bees are such a good reminder of the interconnectedness of life on Earth.
The little piece of magic they do we call pollination is essential to the cycle of life that we all depend on. And if we look after the bees, they'll look after us. And the honey really is an amazing